Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want to take you on a royal journey, one filled with history, elegance, diplomacy, and a sparkling crown jewel. I'm talking about one of the most iconic pieces in European royal collections, the Danish ruby per tiara, and more specifically, how it has become Queen Mary of Denmark's signature piece over the years. Now, let's start with a bit of background, because this tiara isn't just beautiful, it's historic. This ruby per actually dates back to the time of Napoleon Bonaparte. Yes, the French emperor himself. He originally commissioned this set for one of his court ladies in the early 1800s. Over time, it made its way north to Scandinavia, eventually landing in Denmark's royal collection, where it became a symbol of national pride. Fast forward to 2004, when Mary Donaldson, a commoner from Australia, married Crown Prince Frederik of Denmark. On that occasion, Queen Margrethe II gifted the ruby per to her new daughter-in-law. Since then, Queen Mary, who was then Crown Princess, has worn this set with such consistency and style that it's now seen as her signature royal jewel. Let's talk about where and when she's worn it. This tiara isn't just something Queen Mary saves for rare moments, it shows up again and again at major royal events, both at home and abroad. In fact, it has become a centerpiece of Denmark's most important galas, banquets, and portraits. Let me give you a few examples. In 2024, Queen Mary wore the full ruby per at a state banquet in Sweden. It was a powerful display of Scandinavian unity, two royal houses sharing culture, history, and diplomacy. And that same year, she wore it again at the New Year's banquet, a tradition that's deeply rooted in Danish royal protocol. Go back a bit to 2018, and we see her wearing the ruby tiara at a state banquet honoring the French president's visit to Denmark, a nod to the tiara's French origins. She wore it again in 2017, this time for a banquet with the King and Queen of Belgium. She's also worn it for events of personal and national significance. Take 2022, for example, when Denmark celebrated Queen Margrethe's Golden Jubilee. It was a huge national celebration, and Queen Mary appeared in the entire per, tiara, necklace, earrings, brooch, and more. It wasn't just about looking beautiful, it was a statement about continuity, honor, and royal legacy. She also wore the ruby tiara in her 50th birthday portraits, a very personal milestone. And if we go back to 2015, we find that year filled with royal portraits where she chose this tiara again and again. But perhaps where we've seen it the most is during Denmark's annual New Year's banquet. It's a highly anticipated event each January, and Queen Mary almost always turns to the ruby per. In fact, she's worn it at New Year banquets in 2006, 2007, 2012, 2014, 2017, 2020, 2023, and again in 2024. That's not a coincidence, this tiara has become a symbol of tradition, of welcoming a new royal year with elegance and strength. Now let's talk about the design for a moment. This is not a subtle piece. The rubies are deep red, almost blood red, set in gold and silver, surrounded by bright, glittering diamonds. And those colors, red and white, match the Danish flag. So every time Queen Mary wears it, especially at national events, she's making a quiet but powerful statement about her identity as Queen of Denmark. But what makes this story really beautiful is not just the sparkle. It's how Queen Mary has taken this historic piece and made it her own. She even had the tiara slightly adjusted to fit her better, and she wears it with a modern elegance that bridges the gap between the 19th century and the 21st. In a way, the tiara represents more than just status or tradition. It represents Queen Mary's journey, from a young woman from Tasmania to the queen of one of Europe's oldest monarchies. It symbolizes how she honors the past, while stepping confidently into the future. So, the next time you see Queen Mary at a grand event, whether it's a state visit, a royal gala, or a New Year's reception, take a closer look. Chances are, you'll see those glowing rubies and diamonds lighting up the room once again. And when you do, remember, that's not just a tiara. It's a story, a legacy, and a crown jewel in motion. Thanks for watching, please like, share and subscribe my channel.